Mhm. Okay. And Don, just to be sure, you've got my starting screen.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone for joining us today to cover how to leverage WhatsApp using ConnectYard to better engage your students. Just a couple housekeeping items first. Today's session is being presented in partnership between ConnectYard and BME, and we do have Hani joining me to answer any specific questions via the chat as we go through the presentation today. So if you have any difficulties understanding or have specific questions, you can reach out to him via the chat directly. And today, what I want to do as far as the flow is to give you a brief introduction or overview of ConnectYard, and then I'll turn it over to Matt, who will actually walk us through the ConnectYard platform and the ConnectYard building block for Blackboard. And then at the end, we'll handle questions. So again, thank you and welcome to everyone. ConnectYard is really intended to enhance student engagement, and by enhancing student engagement, they have a better academic experience, and that helps to improve student success and student retention as well. As far as ConnectYard, what it actually is a student engagement and analytics platform that makes it easy for faculty and staff to reach out to prospective students, to their actual students that are attending a particular session, and alumni as well. And we were told by one of the universities inside that those three areas are really critical for their success. And we reach out to them and enable you to reach out to them via the most popular social and mobile technologies. And certainly today we'll focus on the new addition of using WhatsApp. So much easier to manage through ConnectYard than directly. Now, the problems that were shared with us are as follows. With Blackboard, they were not able to use, and they is the university there in Saudi that we were working with. They weren't able to reach prospective students or alumni through their Blackboard platform. So they like the idea of ConnectYard being able to handle that. Faculty and staff did not have easy access to be able to message students. And in some cases, they had to actually contact the IT department to send out any text messages if they were required. So it was very cumbersome and really a delayed communications. They're not able, by using WhatsApp directly, they were not able to manage or control student responses. ConnectYard enables you to do that. You can manage it much better. And what's really important with ConnectYard is that we confirm who has viewed your particular message. So you get immediate feedback that your message has been received, has been looked at, and you know who has not looked at it, so you can follow up appropriately. And then certainly everyone experiences where the students change their numbers on occasion, and ConnectYard does help to keep that organized and up to date more easily. Now, just a quick point that I just wanted to make sure that those are similar situations or problems that that you have. And if I could ask you, if you would, just to kind of rate if you feel that those problems are similar to those that you have at your institution, or 10 being that you strongly agree, 1 being not so much. So let me just ask you to reply, and let me know what to what extent you agree with those problems. Just a second for that. Okay, I appreciate that. And it looks like the majority are in the 8 to 10 range. So either we've missed a few, but it looks like we're on target as far as the messages that are or the problems that are being presented. Now, as far as the solution itself, ConnectYard is a single platform that allows you to handle all of your campus communications. And I've got them really categorized into 3 areas. So there's the building block portion that gives you direct course level notifications. So that's announcements, it's grades, etc. And you've got campus notifications outside of Blackboard, where student services, or you have events that you want to promote, or reminders to send out. They can be done on the ConnectYard platform by itself outside of Blackboard. And the mass notifications are when you have emergency situations or urgent information that you need to get out to your students. It's very easy to do that through ConnectYard. So 3 different areas that it's very useful for. Now, the key benefits are that it allows students to select what channels that they wish to be contacted on. So they control if they want to receive it on WhatsApp, as a text, as a Facebook message, as a tweet, or even a personal email. And then I can't stress it enough, we confirm that the message was delivered and viewed. So you've got that immediate feedback for any follow-up that's needed. And then seamlessly, we integrate into the Blackboard with our building block. And then with our API, you can interface with your portals, and that includes your student information system. Now, the platform, as I mentioned, can be used as a standalone, and then with the building block, it then allows those same communications capabilities to be utilized in conjunction with Blackboard. So discussion threads, announcements, things like that are captured, and it provides an historical searchable database for the information that is, for the discussions that are transpiring. What we found is that ConnectYard can increase student engagement, again, which is critical to student retention and success, but it's shown to improve it up to 50%. So it really can make a significant impact on your institution and your students' academic experience and overall success. Now, before I turn it over to Matt, let me just recap that, again, we improve communications by giving them the choice of the technology that they prefer to use. And today we'll focus on the WhatsApp capability because that's so popular in the Middle East. And then you can encourage students both inside and outside. So you can capture them while they're mobile and you can actually reach them with important information. And then again, ConnectYard will really increase the utilization of, in this case, Blackboard, because of the building block. So your investment in Blackboard is made even more valuable by being able to increase the usage. So with that, what I would like to do is turn it over to Matt to actually walk you through the tool itself, and we appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Let me just switch the sharing over to me. Okay. All right. So as Mike had mentioned, I'm going to take you through some of the features and functionality of ConnectYard. This first screen that we are on is, as most of you would know, Blackboard. So what we're going to do here is we are actually going to post an announcement. And the reason for that is we want to see ConnectYard actually receive notifications based on that announcement. So what we'll do is we'll go into announcements, create a new announcement, put in our subject, and we'll post our message here. We'll go ahead and submit that. So now this will create an announcement in Blackboard, and the integration we have inside of Blackboard will actually capture this announcement, send it to ConnectYard, and ConnectYard will then message the students that this announcement was posted. So when we move over to a kind of a student user view, the first thing I just wanted to show you is this sign up wizard that we go through. This is the first thing a user goes through, and the main thing I wanted to show is that the ConnectYard interface has been translated to Arabic to facilitate easier use. So I just wanted to show you that the first time a user comes in, they can change the language very easily if it doesn't automatically change it for them. And then in here is where you could go and set up email, SMS, WhatsApp, and set that up for the student themselves. Now, what I want to look at from here is you can actually see up at the top, we're starting to get the little notification numbers pop up in our tabs. So we can see right here, my post came in. The instructor posted in the course called CY sample course, and here's the announcement text. On top of that, you can see that I included, if you had noticed, a link in the announcement. That link got processed and sent from ConnectYard. And what I can do is I can actually respond to this message inside of ConnectYard. We can go ahead, post a response. I chose a simple response that I used Google Translate for. And what will happen is this message will come back to ConnectYard and get posted. So it kind of closes the loop for that message. On top of that, we can come over to Facebook. And as I mentioned, we have a notification up here. We could click on that notification, be taken right into the ConnectYard platform. We can actually see my WhatsApp message posted. You can also see that Don posted a message as well. And then I'll show you how we could respond to that from another channel from the instructor side. And then the last tab we have here is Twitter. And here, if we come into notifications, we can see that we got a post, a notification here just 1 minute ago. So the one thing to mention with Twitter is it's a public channel. So we give the users a link back to the post, and that link would require them to be authenticated So, any of the post messages may or may not be shown, but one down here is visible, and that's just the settings we have in the groups themselves. So it's fully customizable on how you want messages to be visible. So coming back over to our instructor side, what I want to look at now is I want to actually come over to email and see that I've gotten a few emails here. If I want to take a look at one of the emails, here's the post that I made. And what I can do with that is I can actually just reply to it. So I could just hit reply here, go ahead, paste in my response, send that, and it'll reply back to the user. This allows users to choose the channel that they want to use to be able to receive the notifications. Now, from here, I want to take a look at the ConnectYard platform itself, and you can do that in a multitude of ways. So you saw me access it from Facebook. Here, I'm going to click this link and use a course tool inside of Blackboard to automatically access it. You can also access the website directly. So you're not locked in to using Blackboard. You can use ConnectYard inside of a portal. You can integrate it with an SIS system. A multitude of ways of reaching out to the users. Now, if I come over here and click on replies, here we can actually see the reply that I just posted via email. We can see that somebody liked that post. And if I come back over to messages, I can actually see that I can see who viewed the message as well. So if I go ahead and click on views, I can see actually everybody's viewed the message. That's great news. I can see what channels everybody has viewed the message on. A couple of people have looked at it on WhatsApp. We have SMS here. Me as the instructor I looked at it inside of ConnectYard platform, and then this Tony Smith user was the user I have in my other browser that looked at it in Twitter and then most recently on Facebook. So the view tracking allows you to see who has actually seen the message. And one of the things you can do is you can actually resend notifications as well. So it gives you a little flexibility of if you're using it in a student services type example, which I'll go ahead and actually show a sample of that. Now, I'll use this group called Rise Group. We got a lot more members in there. And what I'll actually do is I'll copy this email address. So this email address is actually specific to that group. So that if I want to email that group, I can actually just use that email address and post my message. So here we'll post a message talking about registration being due. So this can be a more generic student body type of message. This is not course specific. So we can just go ahead, send that email off. And what that'll do is that'll actually post inside of ConnectYard. And if I come back over here, I can see these messages as they happen, but I can also see that that email post that I made as the instructor actually came in via WhatsApp as well. So one of the things that we also want to take a look at is I just want to show you real quick some of the settings you can configure. So if I go edit group here, one of the things that I can do, besides just some general setup, is I can come into posting. And what this allows you to do is actually set up whether you want members to reply to your message. So if I turn this off, what that means is you can post a message, but users won't be able to reply to it. So one of the issues that people say that they have with using WhatsApp groups, for example, is they send the message and then everybody replies to it, and people just start removing themselves or blocking the notifications because they don't want to get all those replies. So with ConnectYard, you can actually prevent the users from replying. So you can use it as a one way if you want to post a newsletter, post information to reach out to them. On top of that, if we come into notifications, what we have here is the ability to configure which channels we want to use. So what I could do is I could say, if I don't want to use SMS or Twitter, I can set that up, and this will allow those users to receive notifications on email, WhatsApp, and Facebook. So it gives you more control over which types of notifications would actually be received. Now, from here, I actually have a tab open for this. I wanted to show a little bit of the customization options. So when we were looking at the emails here, which we can actually look at this most recent reply from Don, we can see that this is the ConnectYard email template. This is the default template that's used, but you can customize and brand it to match your theme. So in this case, I just used the Ministry of Education. So I pulled down their logo. So their logo will now show up in the email, future emails that I send if I go ahead and save this. Just like I changed the background coloring and the link colors to match the color scheme of the Ministry of Education's website. So this just shows how you can make the emails from ConnectYard look more like they're coming from the university. And you could do the same thing with the user interface as well, where we could actually set it so this menu bar is this color as opposed to the red for ConnectYard. On top of that, we have reporting, and one of the most popular reports we have here is this is actually the engagement score report. And what this allows us to do is see what users are actually engaged. So from an instructor's standpoint, they can see who is and is not receiving notifications, who is and is not replying to notifications. So if we were to look at this, our student user here, we can see that they have a lot of replies, so that's great. Only a few likes, lots of views. So this user is real interactive with the material, while Grant here hasn't replied to anything. He's seen a lot of things, but he hasn't interacted besides 2 likes. So this allows the instructors to see who is participating in the messages. On top of that, one of the other things that I actually wanted to do is if we come back to our home screen here, and what I want to do, actually I want to come down here. So I don't want to look at the groups section. I want to actually come down here and look at the inbox. And what this is one-to-one communication. So from the course or group standpoint, that's one-to-many. Instructor posts, notifications go out to all the students, everybody can see it. But say there's an instance where either an instructor has to discuss a grade with a student, or a financial aid individual needs to reach out to, or a registration individual needs to reach out to a student to let them know that they have a hold on their account, what they could do is they could come in here and post a message to that user individually. And what this will do is this will post a message to Hani, and only Hani can see it. And we can actually see from here, he'll receive an email and a message on WhatsApp. Up here, you can actually see the email address we could use to individually email him if we so chose to. So it gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of being able to message these users. And with that, what we'll do is we'll come back over to WhatsApp. We'll see that we got a few more messages in here, and we can reply to these messages as we see fit to interact with the content. So WhatsApp really opens up notification options. A lot of people have WhatsApp installed already, and we're really excited to start using it. So with that, I think that sums up everything I wanted to go over. So take it away, Mike.
All right, thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Yeah, we again thank you for taking time to view this, and I hope you found it exciting. But just if there are any questions, if you would type them into the chat box, and we'll address as many of those as we can. But there was a question, Matt, on adding contacts or inviting members to the yard. Could you just describe that again?
Sure. So if the user's already on ConnectYard, we could invite them directly into the yard. But probably the easiest way to do it is we come into the Edit Yard section, we go to Invite Users, and you can either send an email directly through ConnectYard, where it'll be formatted similar to the template we have here, just with some different content. You put in the email addresses of the users, you can edit the subject, the body, send that email out to them, and they'll get a little button that they can click, which will then ask them to create an account if they don't already have one, or if they already have an account, they can just log into that account and get enrolled. If you wanted to add it into your own email, we actually generate a link for you automatically. You could just use that yourself, or you could actually, if you want to put it onto a portal, we have some iframe code here that you could use to be able to allow the users to click on a link in a portal and open it right up into ConnectYard automatically for them. So there's a few different options here that can help facilitate that.
Matt, can we also talk about how students are automatically enrolled into courses via Blackboard without them having to do anything?
Sure. So with the Blackboard building block implementation, what happens is we actually are tied into the roster of the course. So when that first post happens in the course that gets picked up by ConnectYard, it actually enrolls all the users in that course automatically. On top of that, it handles adds and drops as the course goes on. So as students get added into the course, they will automatically get added into ConnectYard. So that really helps, because the instructor is easily able to just message the students and know that they will automatically be enrolled when someone gets added.
Right. And if, Matt, if they want to be able to message students that are not in Blackboard, can we also just cover the options with API and spreadsheet or other ways to load data, student data?
Sure, sure. So one of the ways that's currently available for administrators is bulk creation. So if you've done it inside of Blackboard before, you create a CSV file, which you could do inside of Excel, and you supply the user's email address, first name, last name, and what that'll do is you upload that file into ConnectYard and it'll create all of those users automatically for you. On top of that, you can create new yards, add channels, or even enroll users into yards. So you can think of it initially, that first time, as a process where first you create the user, then you create the yard for them, then you enroll them into the different yards or groups. We also have, as Don had mentioned, a fully functional API. And what that API allows you to do is that can actually be tied into the SIS. So you can actually automatically create users with the API when they get created in the SIS or when they get added into a course. So that API allows you that level of automation for adding new users.
Great, thanks, Matt. So it looks like we also have another question. This was around how ConnectYard is set up on Blackboard.
Sure. So Blackboard, ConnectYard inside of Blackboard is facilitated as a building block. So once your Blackboard administrator installs the ConnectYard building block, what you as an instructor would see is we can actually see there's a new course tool here for ConnectYard. So if I click on that as the instructor, this is where you can go to actually decide which features you want enabled for your course. So we saw announcements earlier in the demonstration, but ConnectYard also hooks into discussions. So any discussion board posts would actually get sent back to ConnectYard, as well as grades. So if you update the grade book and you have grades enabled, ConnectYard will actually send a notification to the students whose grades you've updated and let them know that there has been an update to their grade center grades. And one of the things that also is beneficial with ConnectYard, not only in Blackboard but using it in any setting, is that even if Blackboard is not accessible for any reason, maybe what they can do is they can still message. But the main point is just the fact that this helps drive users back into Blackboard. They get the notification that their grade has been updated, or they get the notification that there's been an announcement, or even that a discussion thread has been responded to by the instructor. What that helps do is that actually helps the students log back into Blackboard, go into their course, and see what's happening. And that's one of the biggest things, is it lets students know when things are happening in Blackboard.
Okay, great.
Great, thank you.
Are there any other questions around WhatsApp or Blackboard, or even using ConnectYard outside of Blackboard for possibly prospective students and alumni? Well, while we're waiting for other questions to come in,
Mhm.
maybe we can talk to also with WhatsApp, the confirmation of views and delivery for messages, and just how today that's not possible with Blackboard through any of their communication channels.
Sure, sure. So, so with with WhatsApp, if you've seen before, you get the little check boxes letting you know that messages have been delivered and read. So ConnectYard ties directly into that, and what that does is that allows us to track who's viewed the message, on top of being able to see the most recent time somebody has actually viewed that message. So we're able to track that users have actually received the message to their WhatsApp account, that when they've read it. We also are able to see when they've actually viewed that message. So it gives us a lot of additional functionality that we can do, where we could send all these notifications out and see when the users have actually looked at them.
Right. And some of the universities we've spoken to have talked about using this for marketing to students, because now they can market events, any sort of activities, deadlines, and have a confirmation that the message was not only delivered, but viewed and received. And we do have features within ConnectYard that allow for sending a follow-up message to students who had not checked the message the first time, and only those students. Okay. So any additional questions? Well, if you do have any questions, Hani has provided his contact details. We would encourage you to reach out to Hani directly with any questions or interest in learning more about how you can get WhatsApp for Blackboard at your university. With that, I'll turn it back over to Mike to close us out.
All righty. Good. Thank you, Don. I appreciate it. And again, Hani will follow up as well for any additional details, or feel free to reach out to him directly. But we want to thank all of you for taking the time. I hope you found it worth your while and of interest for your university. And with that, I'll just say, have a great day. Take care.